Today at Commander Replay, we're back with some more Gargos Hydra Tribal. Can our Hydras team up to stop the arch enemy? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have 2 new Patreon supporters in Philip Lyacona and Mesmeric Man. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And be sure to use the TCG affiliate player link as it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some more Gargos Vicious Watcher Hydra Tribal today. Interesting opening hand. We've got 4 lands, not a ton of colors in there, but we got the Myriad Landscape, which is ramp. We don't have a card draw to back it up, but I guess we'll be fine. Let's keep right there. We'll hope to run into the card draw at some point. There's a decent amount of it in this deck. Opponents should be playing some slightly stronger decks this game than in the last go-around with Gargos. Talked a little bit about Gargos in that game, but Vigilance, Hydras cost 4 less, and whenever a creature you control becomes a target of spell, Gargos fights up to 1 creature you don't control. Pretty cool. There's a Maze of Ith, keeps us safe. Always good to have around, although Wizards in Ayara probably not going to be super heavy on the attacking, but anyway. So that brings it to our turn 1. I think we just go with the Myriad Landscape tapped. Maybe next turn we hit a Soul Ring or an Ancient Tomb or something random like that and can crack the Myriad Landscape, so seems like a good idea. But taking a look at what our opponents are playing, first up we've got Cadus piloting Naban, Dean of Iteration, and it's going to be a Wizards tribal deck. There are some infinites in there. I forget exactly what they are. I think there's like Naru Mihan and some other stuff, and Insanity happens. So we'll want to try to prevent that from happening if possible. Also, mana doublers tend to be really bad in that Wizards deck. Things get crazy with that. Next up, we have Jenny piloting Ayara, First of Locktwain, and this is going to be an aristocracy graveyard-style deck, going to be a lot of sacrificing, a lot of life loss. And that stuff's going to be pretty difficult for us, I think. I don't think we have tons and tons of life gain in the deck, so we're going to want to try to keep our life total nice and healthy if we can, and maybe get in on the Ayara quickly. And then finally, we've got Xenosai piloting Morphon the Boundless, and this is going to be the Morphon Eldrazi deck, I believe. So, yeah, probably don't want to go super late against them either, but anyway, brings back to our turn. There's a land, play the boots, and we'll pass like that. Opponent plays an Omen Speaker, enters battlefield, scry 2. Their commander is in play already. Yep, so they get to do it twice. Panharmonicons for Wizards, pretty good. Bitter Blossom trigger for the Ayara, and Ayara into play. It's going to trigger. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Rishkar's Expertise. That's the card draw we were talking about. Yeah, we'll want to try to get that in as soon as we can with a sizable creature. So let's play. I want to get this Tectonic Edge into play just in case we got to shoot a Cabal Coffers or something like that. We'll crack the Myriad Landscape. That'll give us the green sources that we need to be effective. Gets us a little ramp. So 2 forests into play. We'll be on 5 mana next turn. I have a question about whether I want to just run the Colonian Hydra down there unprotected. Don't feel amazing about it. But on the other hand, we could cast Nylea, is a thing we could do as well. Opponent clones the Omen Speaker, scries 2 more times. They must be well set up by now. And that was off of a Fated Infatuation. So much scrying. Just curious to see how many cards they put to the bottom. 2 cards to the bottom, 1 card to the bottom, and 2 cards to the top. So they've got some things they like, probably a mana doubler, probably some card draw, that sort of stuff would be my guess. Opponent going to send a little bit of damage over our way, yep. There's a Cabal Stronghold. That was one of the things I was talking about that we may need to shoot. Not quite yet. That's a few turns away from being nasty, but, you know, we'll want to keep that in the back of our mind. Something Simulacrum coming into play. They're going to get their own ramp going. Grab that Swamp. Token into the Wizards, sure. Awakening Zone for the Morphon opponent. Yeah, cool little card. Ooh, there's a Cultivate. I really like that. I was thinking about the Colonian Hydra, but I really want to get the Cultivate going, so play this Rogue's Passage. And then play the Cultivate. So next turn, that should put us on Gargos into Swiftfoot Boots, and then life should be pretty good after that. 2 open lands, nothing we can really do with it. Pass turn. Some question about whether I could have played the Maze of Ith this turn, but really trying to get the mana going till we really need the Maze of Ith. Couple Wizards coming in our way. They're going to get us for 3. Can't do much about it. No blocks. Down to 34 we go. Ayara is going to sacrifice a token, draw a card. Yeah. Another Bitter Blossom token. Nice little engine right there. Get some extra cards. Notice that the Wizards opponent left all of their mana open. Can't say I feel great about that. I don't have it in this deck, but Azuri's Predation would be incredible right now. Makes 4/4s equal to the number of creatures in play and then fights all of your opponent's creatures. Would be really good against this board. Don't know if it resolves against all this blue mana. Pretty nervous about trying to just slam my commander. Awakening Zone going to make a token. Yep. Opponent says, don't mind me, just stacking the deck. Yep. That was back when they were doing all the scry stuff. Here's a Soul Ring from opponent. Yep. I think that puts them on Morphon mana if they want it. Yeah, going for Morphon. Oh, we're totally going to get countered so hard. So hard. There's also the bounce one. Bounce is also bad. There's a land. All right. You know, I really want to go for our commander, but I just don't feel... I mean... So it gets countered. We go to 8. Oh, that feels bad. Feels really bad. We're one short of being able to cast both Nylea and Colonian Hydra. Play... I think I'm going to... You know, I think I'm going to try the Colonian Hydra first. I just don't feel great about the open blue mana. Let's see if this gets demolished. Yeah, okay. Yep. Just as I expected. Arcane Denial. So I left the land play up so that we can get the Maze of Ith and just protect ourselves a little bit. Opponent saying best Hydra in the deck. Yeah, it's good. It's very good. Play the Maze of Ith. We'll get to draw some cards. Do need to keep ourselves protected. Not a lot of removal in this deck. It's all in the form of Gargos being in play, which it is not. It is not. We'll get to draw at the beginning of the upkeep. Ooh, Emerald Medallion, 3 visits. Got some more mana ramp there. That's going to be good if the worst should happen to Gargos. Mana crypt for opponent. Yep, there's the ramp. Cool, opponent just leaving their mana open. Probably a rift. We get dinged for another life. Oh, down to 31. Slowly bleeding. That's what I was afraid of. That's how Ayara is going to get us. Smothering Abomination for opponent. More draw engine going. Yep. I'm going to send a token over to the Morphon. Yep. Here comes a Clever Impersonator. A lot of choices. Fathom Feeder into play. Opponent copies the Smothering Abomination, by the way, with the clone. Oh yeah, with the Eldrazi thingies they've got going, that makes a lot of sense. Opponent's going to gain 1 life for each colorless creature they control. That's 5. It's pretty good. That is pretty good. Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, huh? I don't think I've seen that one before. There's a Heroic Intervention. That's pretty good. Not that we have like really stuff to protect at this moment, but if we did, it'd be super cool, right? Play the Forest, get the Emerald Medallion, play the 3 visits. Wow, with cost reduction, three visits is mana neutral. That's pretty cool. All right, since we have enough mana going right now, I'm going to try our commander. I was going to try to originally play around a bunch of things, but we're not going to be able to get the boots on it, which I don't love. But if opponents target it with stuff, then we can theoretically fight things, but I know, like, Venser is a problem. Well, it resolved. I thoroughly didn't expect that. That's the thing that I've noticed, too, is, like, yeah, you can play around stuff, but sometimes you play too carefully when they don't have it. If you play around stuff that they don't have because you think they have it, you can really sabotage yourself. And I don't know, I did that the other day. I can't remember what the situation was of the game, but it definitely happens. Opponent's going to Mystical Tutor. I'm sure this is going to be bad. Opponent said they forgot to put a stop at our end step. Oops. They've got plenty of mana. They played 2 mana rocks. They've played the good ones. Yeah, there's the Rift, of course. It's gonna basically slow this game down by 2 turns, and opponent's gonna sacrifice a creature, draw a card that'll trigger the Smothering Abomination, and that triggers the Pitiless Plunderer. All very good stuff. So on the upkeep now, Smothering Abomination, Bitter Blossom trigger. Yep. Jenny's got 9 cards in hand. That seems pretty good. Sacrifices the token. We each lose 1 life to the token coming into play on Ayara. They're gonna sacrifice a creature and then draw another card, I believe. Here comes a Bantu's Monument. Oh, man. The life loss is really going to get going now, I think. Thought Vessel into play. Yep, no max hand size. I think this deck needs more removal, honestly. Smothering Abomination in our way. Ugh, Fairy into the Wizards. None of this is great for us. Ooh, Jenny plays a Blood Artist. Yeah, that seems good. Down to 24. I realized we could have Maze of Ith that, but Morphon opponent does have some big stuff, so, you know. Maybe we could have saved the 4 right there, for sure, but... Alright, here comes the Rift at the end step. Yeah, the Blood Artist, that does a little bit too much. Opponent's got the Thought Vessel, so they're not going to have to discard it all, but they will have to spend a turn or 2 setting up again. They're going to sacrifice something I didn't see to what? Going to continue to draw cards. So the Rift is gone. That makes me happy. That means we can draw the cards with Rishkar's expertise. Well, we will have to recast Gargos, unfortunately. But unless we catch like a Mana Rock off the top, I don't think we're getting to the Rishkar's expertise this turn. Bunch of triggers on the stack. 2 Smothering Tide triggers, 2 Blood Artist triggers. Ooh, life's getting down there. I gotta put lifelink in this deck so badly. Just even like a Luxodon Warhammer will do it. I guess you can use Shadow Spear also. Everything in the deck's big enough that doesn't need a ton of power, but... Ayara sacrifices another creature, a Pitiless Plunderer, Blood Artist, and Smothering Abomination all trigger. So everything getting bounced. Ye old Cyclonic Rift. Jenny's got 17 cards in hand. Ooh, the Thought Vessel got bounced. I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, it's going to hurt pretty bad. That is going to hurt. It's a black deck. They can get all their creatures back. Shouldn't be that hard, but Mortuary down. Abomination, Monument, into the grave. Merciless Executioner down. Ooh, that one's bad against us. That one hurts a lot. Solemn Simulacrum. Oh, this kind of feels like a living death. Arcane Signet. Swiftfoot Boots. Interesting. Probably keep that one in the hand, personally. Don't know what they have in hand, but that is a great card to have. Blood Artist into the graveyard. Oh, yeah, this feels like a living death pretty badly. Soul Ring for opponent. Morphon back to play. Chooses Eldrazi. Awakening Zone back to play. Opponent stops right there. I'm pretty sure they have an Eldrazi in their hand they can play for free. We draw a Mosswart Bridge. Interesting. Let's get the Emerald Medallion into play. Cast Gargos. Can't equip the boots this turn, so I think sit on the Heroic Intervention, which means play the Mosswart Bridge right here. Get the Hideaway. It's a good stuff under there. Strength is an X spell. Don't want that. Ulvenwald Hydra is pretty cool. Phyrexian Hydra also pretty sweet. It's got Infect. It's got Infect. It's pretty good. If damage would be dealt to it, it puts minus counters on it. Is interesting. I think I'm going to go for the Ulvenwald Hydra. It's just kind of good all the time. Also, it's got Reach, which is nice. And the rest go to the bottom. Yeah, that seems good for now. So, sit on the Heroic Intervention. Try to keep our Gargos alive. Living Death's going to be bad for us. Should that happen. Opponent wins the Mana Crypt flip. Oh my, opponent's going to kick a Rite of Replication on an Omen Speaker. It's pretty good. There's going to be a lot of scrying. Like a very serious amount of scrying. That's 10 triggers, each scrying twice. That's scry 20. That's almost a tutor, right? And a crap load of 1/3s. It's like decent amount of toughness. I know our deck gets big, but it does take a bit to punch through that. One's going to recast their Thought Vessel. Yeah, that's painful. That is a painful. Having to lose a lot. Yeah, there's a Living Death. Gargos down. Oh, I should have played our turn differently. Should have just went for Nylea. Yep. Everything back to play. Tons of value for our opponent. See if anyone's got a board wipe. If they do, you just cast it right here. That's what you do. Oh, we do have a Hydra in our grave. We're going to have to sacrifice it, though. That sucks. Colonian Hydra down. Also going to lose a bunch of life. Yeah, thinking about our last turn, doing literal anything else would have made so much more sense. Since we pretty much knew the Living Death was going to happen right there. So, opponent draws more cards. Surprisingly, we're still at 24 life. Blood Artist back in play, though. That'll make our life go away really quickly. Yeah, we would have been much better off with, like, Nylea and Boots. Vanquisher's Banner for Xeno. Flare Drone into play for opponent. Whenever another colorless creature enters the battlefield under your control, target opponent loses 1 life. Well, we are not the threat, and we're not on the throne, so I feel like that's not going to be us. Opponent sacrifices a creature, triggers the Blood Artist. Targets the Eldrazi opponent. They're down to 23. Clever Impersonator. Do you target the blood... they target the Smothering Abomination. Interesting. Okay, they're trying to get some card draw going themselves. They get a target on the Flare Drone. I believe they sent that right back at Jenny. That's a Harmonize. I think we do need to play that, actually. Recast Gargos. It's going to cost 7. Play the land. We can equip the boots, or we can Harmonize. I'm going to try the Harmonize if anyone targets Gargos. We'll leave Gargos up for targeting, because if they target it with stuff, we can fight things. So, Harmonize time. Then we have to discard down to hand size. Finally draw some gas. I think Solidarity of Heroes is looking a little underwhelming in this moment. Yeah, get rid of that. Mana Crypt flip on the blue opponent. Opponent's going to blue summon himself for X7. Goes up to 8 cards in hand. Plays a Mana Vault. Smothering Abomination, Bitter Blossom will trigger. Pitiless Plunderer, Blood Artist, Smothering Abomination. Oh, opponent did lay down an Urza's Incubator before the end of their turn. And naming Wizard, of course. Blood Artist triggers and the Morphon. Yep. Ayara back to play. And the Cabal Stronghold starting to do some things. Ooh, hey now. We go down to 23 with the Ayara coming into play. Burnished Heart. Yeah, I'm thinking about that Tectonic Edge next turn. Small attack over to the Wizard's opponent. Yep. Smothering Abomination, Awakening Zone for the Eldrazi opponent. 5 open mana for Ayara and 6 cards in hand. That makes me a little nervous. Creature dies, Blood Artist triggers. Smothering Abomination will draw a card. Here comes Morphon back to play, triggers the Vanquisher's Banner. Flare Drone will trigger. Shoots Ayara. Fathom Feeder back to play. Triggers the Flare Drone. Sifter of Skulls into play. Ooh, that seems really good with the Flare Drone. Lots of value engines. This deck needs removal. This deck needs so much more removal. Yeah, Eldrazi's got some stuff going on. They're behind... I believe they're behind Ayara. No, maybe they're not. Well, Ayara's set up, so Ayara's going to get a good chance at stuff. Ooh, that Tomb of the Spirit Dragon coming in handy. Opponent gained 5 more life. They've gained 10 life with that total. They'd be at 13 if they hadn't activated that twice this game. It is very relevant. We drew a Crossing Grip. Oh, man, did we think about that? Bitter Blossom's been making tokens like crazy. Opponent would have to, like, sacrifice something that matters, right? If we shoot the Bitter Blossom. I might wait a second on the Crossing Grip. Play this Forest. I think play the... Well, we have the Heroic Intervention. So let's try the Rishgar's Expertise. We get to draw a bunch. Very cool. Bow of Nylea gets us card draw, which seems so incredibly good. Rampant Growth. Primordial Hydra. So we get to cast something for free. Probably don't want to do something with an X in it, because that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, I think Nylea is probably the most logical thing to do. What's this one do? At the beginning of your upkeep, Scry Run, whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay a green. If you do, draw a card. Yeah, I think I just want to get Nylea into play. Ooh, how much is this Colony Hydra? Oh, it's still like full price. For each green creature you control. Okay, we ideally want more green creatures first before that happens. What's this one do? Can't be blocked by more than one creature. When it is dealt damage, put that many counters on it. Okie dokie. Let's get the Primordial Hydra. X is 5. Seems good enough for me. Nature's Lore is mana neutral. Let's get that one going. Oh, we can use the Heroic Intervention to stop Blood Artist triggers if we need to. That's the thing to keep in mind. That's probably what we're going to need it to do this game. We have too many cards in hand still. Man, I really don't want to burn this Crossing Grip yet, because the blue player, if they land a doubler, it's going to be bad. What else can we do this turn? Genesis we can discard into the graveyard. That's fine. So we can let that one go. No big deal. Yeah, I guess we're using the Crossing Grip then. Crossing Grip on the Bitter Blossom. Puts us at 10 cards in hand. Still probably discarding a few more things than I want to. Swing into Jenny. Takes the hit. 34, 8 Commander. Alright, go to the end step. What are we getting rid of? I guess we could have Rampant Growth. Ooh, opponent's going to Vampire Tutor. I'm sure I don't like that. They can't be too far away. Ayara doesn't have haste, so they can't draw the card just yet. But they could... They could sacrifice Burnish Chart. I don't know how the timing of those triggers would work. Would you be able to draw off of Smothering Abomination before you search for the lands? Probably not. What are we getting rid of? Oh, I still want to use the Kindred Summons, but it just seems unlikely. Discard the Genesis. We're out of card draw, so probably want to keep the Lifecrafter's Bestiary, honestly. Is it the Kindred Summons going down? Yeah, I think it's Kindred Summons, because if we hit X creatures, it's actually going to be pretty bad. It's pretty bad. One more card. We just go for a Hydra. Oh, the Hydras are so good with... then I guess Rampant Growth. Mana Crypt, Mana Vault for the blue player. Opponent said they're going to try and target our Gargos with something to fight the Blood Artist, which seems like a very good idea. Blood Artist will make this a very quick game. Here comes Naban into play. Yep. Venser into play. I did remind opponent that it's that Gargos trigger is spells only, not abilities. Venser targeting a swamp. Opponent's going to crack the Burnish Chart. Bunch of triggers going on the stack. Blood Artist on Naban. Pitiless Plunderer. Burnish Chart, 2 Venser triggers. Ooh, the second one targeting itself, I think. Yep. Oh, yeah, well, there's a... That's pretty good. Could see that being a problem. Does Venser have flying? If it does, we can use the Bow of Nylea on it. I don't know if it does. Yep, Venser coming back. It does not have flying, it has Flash. 2 more Venser triggers. Bounce itself, bounce Blood Artist. Smothering Abomination trigger. Treasure Token and Draw trigger. Yep. Lot of Aristocrats. Opponents sacrifice their Merciless Executioner. It's probably safer in play than it is in the graveyard, honestly. We didn't shoot the Cabal Stronghold like I was hoping. Opponent's up to 8 swamps, so that's making extra mana. They've got 9 cards in hand. I'm sure they're about to have a turn. That's a Mutilate. It's going to be -8. Oh, man. How big is this thing? That's a 13. That'll survive. That's cool, right? So I guess bring in the Uvenwald Hydra. Cast the Uvenwald Hydra. Venser coming back to play. Probably bounce Naban. Oh no, Nylea's a creature. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Didn't think about that. That sucks. Opponent sacrificing there's more stuff, drawing more cards. Use the ability. Any interesting lands in this deck? Ancient Tomb, Scavenger Ground is pretty interesting. Yeah, I think Scavenger Grounds. It's not great for us. We got Genesis in there, but Sifter of Skulls dies and creates a bunch of Eldrazi. Ayara back to play. We lose another life, down to 22. Zulaport Cutthroat, oh, that's even worse. That is even worse. Really looking at this bow for the life gain mode, but we really need like Zendikar Resurgent. Stronghold Assassin, destroy target non-black creature. Seems bad. Pawn of Ulamog, that's another good one. Another Ayara trigger. Morphon back to play, opponent draws a card. Joda into play, uh-oh. Free Eldrazi time. Skull Clamp, uh-oh. Blood Butcher. Make Scions. It that betrays. Things just got real. Pretty bad for the mono black deck. Scion Summoner. Ooh, opponent's got the card draw thing too with Vanquisher's Banner. Makes Scions. Forerunner of Slaughter. Something just got haste from the Forerunner of Slaughter. More stuff getting haste. There's gonna be some damage. So that It That Betrays has haste. Opponent equips a Skull Clamp to a Scion, sacrifices the Scion, gets a colorless mana. Ooh, this is bad. They could probably play a pretty large portion of their deck doing things like that. If they run into more things that make Scions, it's gonna be tough. So they Skull Clamping a lot of the Scions, up to 12 cards in hand. Dread Drone makes Scions, yep. More stuff getting haste. Opponent didn't attack. Opponent accidentally passed their main phase 1. Oh, wow, they just missed a big opportunity. I mean, and we still don't have answers to what they're doing, but someone might. Genesis trigger. Let's get back to Nylea, I think. Yeah, Xeno Scoops, they had to go. Okay, it's going to change this game pretty dramatically, I think. Actually, let's get the Colonian Hydra. No, let's get Nylea. The Trample is pretty relevant this moment. So yeah, Xeno had to leave. Unfortunate. Thought we budgeted enough time. Or I guess we could just use the Rogue's Passage, right? Use the ability. We draw a Pelucranos. That's actually pretty helpful, right? We need to fight some of this stuff, get rid of it. Alright, hold off on the Pelucranos. Definitely get Nylea. Oh man, we need all these colorless lands. Send in the Uvenwald. I'm pretty sure this feels like kind of like a board wipe turn, so opponent has the thing, and they're probably going to have to bounce like Zulaport and all that, so I think we try to get some of our utility stuff in right here. Get the bow. If we go for the boots. Yeah, go for the boots. No, pass like that. Really need like a mana doubler, Sylvan Awakening, something, just like even get an extra untap on our lands, a little bit of boost of mana. This deck does get expensive quickly. Once Gargos gets shot, you realize how expensive all your creatures are. Plus with stuff like Genesis, there's just always more places to park mana in this deck. Things like Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Opponent's down to 14 after the Mana Vault. Getting down there. So they have just as much reason to try to get rid of the Zulaport as we do. Here comes Naban. Here comes the Venser. Bounce the Ayara. Bring back Venser. Bounce the Stronghold Assassin. Alright, time to shoot the Cabal Coffers. Or the Stronghold, rather. Do we use... I'm going to leave the Scavenger Grounds untapped, just in case. Rise of the Dark Realms is a card. So, Cabal down. Reassembling Skeleton. Seems good. Seems like good sack fodder. Ayara back to play. Victimize, huh? Solemn Simulacrum and a Merciless Executioner. Oh, we might be kissing goodbye to the graveyards. Oh, we're going to lose our Colonian Hydra. And Primordial Hydra. I think it's got to happen. Executioner is just too bad for us. Sacrifice the desert. Yep. Sacrifice to its own ability. Exile the graveyards. And that was why I wanted to get Nylea back, because I thought that I might have to do this on our turn and wasn't sure that we would get another crack at it. Graveyards get exiled. Victimize is going to fizzle. Opponent said they didn't see that. Here comes the damnation. Oh, we're tapped out. Yep, that's the indestructible we would have needed. Well, Nylea will be fine. This will slow the game down. Zulaport is going to trigger a few times. It's not great. Pawn of Ulamog, Zulaport both trigger. Yup. Opponent still got some Scions. Got a little more action if they want. Ooh, that's a Prey Upon. That's a cool card. Nothing to shoot in this moment. How much is Gargos? Ooh, 9. Rough. Get Gargos. I think everything we do starts with him. We can get this Hungering Hydra. Yeah, let's get the Hungering Hydra, and that'll leave us enough to hold up Heroic Intervention. We can send Nylea. It doesn't have Trample, but we can need a token. Any sort of, like, Ayara just coming back to play, I think, is going to put Cadis in the danger zone here. Plus, he still has Mana Vault and Mana Crypt, so, like, I'm expecting he'll kind of just die to his own effects. Opponent blocks with a Scion. Scion goes down. And we'll pass. Mana Vault, Mana Crypt trigger. Untaps the Mana Vault. Goes down to 7. Here comes Naban back to play. Yep. Here's Lightning Greaves. Equips the Lightning Greaves. Oh, I forgot. We have the Death Touch trample thing. I forgot all about that. That's going to be handy. Toxic Deluge X7. Does this give toughness? It does give toughness. We can't afford to do it. We can put a counter on something. I think the bow is about to save us. What do we want to save? We want to save Nylea or Gargos? Gargos allows us to cast a bunch of creatures. Nylea gives us all trample. Oh, I love Nylea, but I think we're going to have to let Nylea go. Put a plus counter on Gargos. Gargos just... Oh, we don't have enough! We don't have enough! No! Oh, Maze of It doesn't make mana. Maze of It's been terrible this game. And this is what happens when opponents draw a bunch of cards and have a lot of removal. Ayara back to play. Katie's down to 6. We're at 14. Stronghold Assassin into play. It's probably going to require some boots. Oh, we lose another life. Yep. Gargo's getting pretty expensive. Goreclaw, you say? That's a card. Yeah, let's get Goreclaw. Let's get the boots. Let's equip the boots. How much is this thing? Still a bunch. Still a bunch. Let's get Plugranos. Oh, we should have got the Lifecrafter's Bestiary before doing all that. Whoops. Alright, so here's the conundrum. We know one card in... Oh, Venser's in the graveyard. Oh, alright. Well, we'll just let him die to his Mana Crypt then. Swing into Jenny. Goreclaw will trigger. Takes a hit for 5, down to 17. Do we prey upon... We should probably prey upon the Stronghold Assassin. Have Goreclaw fight the Stronghold Assassin. Mana Crypt, Mana Vault trigger for opponent. Mana Vault's already untapped. Their commander's in the command zone. It's probably going to cost a bit, I would imagine, to get it back at this point. Naban back to play. Eats up some mana. Boots onto it. Jenny's turn. Oh, that's a Blood Artist. That's why I've been saving this Heroic Intervention all game. Ayara's going to trigger. Each lose a life. Kate is down to 4. Is Jenny out of gas? Is Reassembling Skeleton in the graveyard? Nope, we got rid of the Reassembling Skeleton. Jenny passes with all the mana up. Oh, crap, I forgot to... Okay, we can use the bow right here. Now's a great time to gain 3 life. Here's that life gain on the bow coming in. Try and stay alive with that. We draw a forest. Play the forest. How much for our commander? 9. It's a bit. That is a bit. Think it's the correct thing, though. Still not enough to go for the Life Crafters this turn. Cast Gargos. Move the boots. Go to combat. I know this isn't going to work out, like, damage-wise, but I think we send Gargos at Cadis. Yeah, here comes the mana. Alright, he's going to turn about on Jenny. And then play a Naru. To copy it. Target player controls. Okay, might be time for the Heroic Intervention. So Naru's going to copy it. Wait, does this protect us? Permanents you control gain hexproof and is... Oh, it doesn't protect us, does it? No, it does not. It's going to be a problem, I think. Oh, he's untapping mana. Jenny's got stuff. Here go. Ooh, nope, never mind. Reassembling Skeleton coming back. It's going to trigger Ayara. Oh, might be able to take him down on the stack with the Blood Artist. So activate Ayara, I think. He Cadis untaps all of his lands. It's scary. Yep, okay, so here we go. Ayara gonna sacrifice the Reassembling Skeleton. Oh, this seems bad. Gonna Blood Artist... Oh, no. They don't have a permanent sack outlet. Okay. Harbinger of Tides. Cast it for flash. Enters the battlefield. You may return target tapped creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. That'd be the... Ooh, the Ayara. Okay. Okay, so Cadis probably not gonna die right here. Here comes the Reassembling Skeleton back to play with all that on the stack. Do they have a sacrifice effect? If they do we have anything we can do? Ayara triggers. Oh, there's 2 Harbinger of Tide triggers. Oh, there's only 1 legal target, that's why. Duh. If we attack Jenny and Jenny blocks with, like, Blood Artist or anything, really. Yep, now he's gonna target us. This doesn't protect us, right? Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible, so it doesn't protect our creatures at all. Oh, I should have left mana up for the monstrous. Yeah, that's frustrating. Well, opponent's gonna probably die to their mana crypt flip then. Oh, untaps the lands. Okay. Alright, I probably shouldn't backstab him with that being the case, but I know I'm totally gonna lose to, well, with the lands untapped... Oh yeah, we can use Pelucranos to do stuff. So he's just falling on the sword, basically, is what's happening. Go to combat. Yeah, he's in danger to dying to his own mana crypt. Swing it, Jenny. Goreclaw is gonna pump everything up. We actually need to do something. Like, we'll either have to use Pelucranos or use the bow. Jenny's at 21. We only have 20 damage coming in with this attack. Alright, Pelucranos time. Gonna Monstrous 4 on Pelucranos. 1 damage on... Yeah, I guess 1 on Blood Artist and 3 on the Naru Miha, since that is a game winner. 2 Blood Artist triggers. Yep, 1 at Cadus. I don't think he's getting out of that. The other one at Cadus, just in case. Down he goes, and the rest of the attack should finish Jenny. And down they go. Nice. Well, kind of a weird game. Xeno scooped in the middle, so that really kind of changed the dynamic quite a bit. And we just had to gang up on Jenny all game. Like, she was just so far ahead that neither of our decks by themselves could take her on. She just had so much value. The card draw, the life loss. It took us a really long time to get going. I'm thinking this deck needs some things like Mana Vault, Basalt Monolith, stuff like that to get Gargos in much quicker, because just being slow to Gargos. Gargos is kind of what enables the rest of the deck, and those Hydras do get very expensive. I do want some more removal in the deck. Kindred Summon's coming out. Oh, Azuri's Predation is in the deck, so that's important to keep in mind. Maybe like a Nev Disc seems fine. Maybe an Ugin. Let's go Nev Disc. It's affordable in terms of in terms of CMC and paper costs. So cast a Nev Disc, or bring Nev Disc into the deck. Rampant Growth is fine. We'll go for a Basalt Monolith. Basalt Monolith should get you into a pretty easy turn 4 Gargos, which is where you want to be. I think we want Greaves in this deck too. I don't know. You probably add Greaves for the protection. There's probably a bunch of things you can do, but yeah, you know what I mean? Definitely more of a political situation this game, where having to deal with the player that's just really far ahead all game. Jenny was also the one in control of the removal. None of us really had any, which is the thing too, because like, her board should have gotten blown up several times throughout this game, and it did not. She was the one definitely in control of that, so us adding more removal, and I'll probably tinker with that. Maybe an Ugin, maybe an All's Dust, some sort of board wipe in here. We got the Nev Disc now, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.